Expires May 30th, 2024.
For funeral services from pre-need to at-need, burial or cremation, call Gates Funeral Home and Crematory, located at 136 North Gallatin Avenue in a beautifully restored historic home. Family owned and operated by Rick Gates, former Brownsville resident and Guyville alumni, the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory offers warmth, convenience, affordability, and ample parking. With a knowledgeable funeral director and compassionate staff, the Gates family and the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory are ready to assist you.
You can go to Big Box Medical Office.
Now serving number 3,943.
Or,
hi, come on in. How are you feeling?
when you see doctors Paul Hartley and Mary Beth Riley, plus nurse practitioners Tara Bozek, Jessica Reckart, and Stacy Morris, you get one-on-one personal professional health care serving the area for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a primary care doctor, call Doctors Hartley and Riley at 724-437-1109 or online at ppcp.org. Or
serving number 3,940.
Are you noticing your house getting a little drafty? Use your tax refund and call Monarch Windows and Doors. Family owned and operated with over 20 years experience, Monarch Windows and Doors can make your home warm again. Monarch Windows and Doors only use their own employees, no subcontractors. They are BBB accredited and offers military discounts. Call Monarch Windows and Doors and find out what they could do for you. 412-215-8116. That's 412-215-8116, or see Monarch Windows and Doors on Google or Facebook.
The views and opinions presented by the host, guest, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the position of WMBS Radio. The following is a paid political presentation. Candidates may have provided all or some questions to the host and may or may not take phone calls. WMBS and the host do not endorse any political candidate on air during a paid political presentation.
This land of ours is under attack. The time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Hey everybody, this is Jon Marietta and I am the Hillbilly. And today's show is being brought to you by Patriot Switch, Monarch Windows and Doors, Mauser's Garage and Tire Center, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul, Country Motor Sales, Tactical Civics, White Mountain Logging, Solid Foundation Ministry, New Life Free Methodist Church, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, and Jon Marietta for We the People, and Bristol's Potting Shed, and their hours are Monday through Friday 9 to 6, Saturday 9 to 4, and Sunday in the summertime they're open 10 to 2. I'll tell you what, it's been a busy weekend, and I mean, we need to reflect upon what the weekend was really about. I mean, it was about all those that were willing to give all for our country, and I really feel that's what a lot of times we forget that, and we worry more about being a 3-day weekend instead of worrying about it being what it truly means.
Yep.
For some reason, my Facebook isn't working, so I don't know what's going on here. But anyways,
Let me see.
I wanted to start with this. He will fight for you against your enemies to give you victory. We need to ask for the strength and faith to stand up for what is right, even when faced with opposition. Standing up for one's faith can allow others to see God in you and themselves. After you've done all you can do, we just need to stand. That encourages people to stand on the truth that God will fight for them against their enemies. It also asks people to thank God for being there and never forsaking them. And one of the other verses is Psalms 82:3. give justice to the weak and the fatherless, and maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. We've been, like I said, it's been a really, really busy weekend, and we're trying to figure out. We found Gina got it up finally on my Facebook page.
I don't know why that I can't see it on the regular. Oh,
there it is.
Okay. There you go.
So, anyways, me and Gina have been working on a couple things, couple different projects, and we'll get back to we got some reporting we got to do on that in the near future. This weekend, I was at the Albert Gallatin Regatta, and the person that's online with us, she was down there with us too. Melanie Patterson met us down there. It was a little bit of a, how do I want to say it? It was raining. Well, it was looking like it was going to rain, and then it didn't. But it was pretty warm. So we were down there and trying to get people to register to vote and talking to people about different things. And a lot of people came up to me and asked me different things that we were trying to do, and with the voter integrity thing. And I want to before we get into that, I also want to let everybody know that everybody is invited to the Hillbilly Picnic. Come join me. It's going to be at the Franklin Township Park Pavilion 1. It's the biggest pavilion out there.
Right next to the pool.
Yeah, you walk right down to the pool. Now, I'm not taking care of the pool. If you want to go swimming, you have to pay for that on your own. But we'll have food there, and if you want to make a donation, that's fine. If you don't, we're not going to turn you away. The menu hasn't been set yet, but it looks like we're definitely going to have hot dogs.
What would a picnic be without hot dogs with the hillbilly, right?
Yep, and it's July 6th, and it's it's this year, 2024, July 6th, 2024. So anyways, I want to get
from 2 to 7.
Yeah, from 2 to 7.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget to tell the time so people know when to show up.
Yeah, from 2 to 7. So anyways, you need to get a set of headsets on.
Okay.
Melanie, you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so Melanie was down at the regatta and talking to people and doing things, and I just wanted to I want to let everybody know that I was impressed. There was a lot of people down there walking around.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I met two interesting young girls, or teenagers, too young to vote, but the one wanted a Trump MAGA flag. So she bought a MAGA flag and draped it over her shoulders like Superwoman. So I said, that girl's doing it right here in Fayette County. Down at Point Mary, and it was fun.
So
it was fun.
And Melanie told her that the only way she could have the flag was if she came to the Hillbilly Picnic. So she said she would definitely come and bring her sister or cousin or whatever. But anyways,
yeah, that was fun.
Melanie, you've been working on some stuff here in Fayette County, some pretty sizable project. So do you want to let everybody know what's kind of going on?
Right. Well, my concern came about, a year and a half ago, about our elections and, what we're doing here in our county and our state of Pennsylvania to make sure they're secure, safe, and that our votes are counted. And in doing that, I got connected with a group called True the Vote. And they have software. They have an independent voter validation and verification software database that they use with the state of Pennsylvania and the NCOA National Change of Address services there. And the records show here in Fayette County, out of 77,656 registered voters in Fayette County, 1,446 are flagged as moved from their registered address. And I'm challenging those addresses. I have sent them to the county commissioners and the election director. It's a way to, just to put the information out there and simply provide information to them to make sure that they take some action, or hope that they take some action to make sure that our voter registration is somewhat cleaned up for the November presidential election, which is real important. That's what I did. So I identified that.
Well, but you're looking at 1,480 people that have the potential to vote in Fayette County that no longer live here. Is that correct?
Right. Well, they're potentially ineligible voters.
Okay.
And that needs some investigation. I'm not doing anything. It's not my responsibility to go and remove these people or investigate them. But I just thought I'd send that information to the election office to see if they were aware of it. I haven't heard anything from the commissioners or the election director. But, it just raises some red flags, and this data here certainly points us in that direction. They're also included in there are non-standard addresses, which are addresses that are either invalid addresses where there's nothing there, commercial addresses which shouldn't receive, voters registered. Although with COVID, many people have chosen to work from home. So, these need to be looked at. And then what the database does, it connects you to a Google. So you can look at the address, it's a commercial address, and you can determine right there at your laptop whether or not it's a gas station or a parking lot, Walmart parking lot, and then just get it in and flag it and send it to them to be challenged. And then vacant addresses as well. So these are all things that the United States Postal Service forwarded in the database that we put with the state registration. And another thing that's questionable too, many of them have post office boxes as their registration address. Well, your registration address in Pennsylvania has to be a physical address. Now, your mailing address can be a post office, but your registration, the voter registration, has to be a physical address. And some of those in there are post office boxes, which the post office flags as that's not a residence. You don't lay your head on the pillow in the post office box, do you? So you cannot be registered at a post office box.
But what you found out though is, and I believe Greg, you with us? Okay, Greg, can you hear us too? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I can hear you.
We can hear you now. So what we found out, Melanie's found out is do you know what the biggest precinct in Fayette County is right now? Can you tell us, Gina, what the biggest precinct is?
The commissioner, the election bureau.
Nope. What's the biggest precinct in Fayette County, Greg?
Is that second?
Mail-in ballots.
Oh.
Well,
that's at that. That's at the election.
The post office box. It's the post office.
Oh, the post office.
They're collecting ballots, so therefore that's a precinct. Did I have that right, Greg?
That is correct.
But do I get a half a point because they count those votes at the election bureau? I should get credit, a little bit,
you
right?
You get a full point because they're counting them at the BOE. So that's actually one of the big, but they're collecting them at the post office, and that's how Melanie. I give her credit, and Greg's giving her. Greg gives her all the kudos in the world, but that's how Melanie figured this out.
Wow. We're lucky to have somebody like Melanie to investigate.
Believe me, I wish I could take credit, and I don't. It's the Truth Vote. It's Catherine Engelbrink, and she's like a warrior, just like Greg and Leah are, for election integrity, and they've been fighting this for, Catherine has been for at least 10 years that I know about in Texas. And she's put together a coalition on the website, truethevote.org. If you can go there, there's all kinds of information, even state-specific. You can be directed to your state. And you can find out another thing about the voter registration is, this is another thing you can do, is canivote.org. If you may have lived in West Virginia or lived in Ohio and moved away 10 years ago, and this would be good for college kids, you can go to canivote.org and click on that state, maybe Nevada you lived in. Mm-hmm. Click on that state and see if you are still registered as a voter in Nevada. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to get data. They're trying to merge some stuff in with the IV3 that will help us do that, locate that. And they're working on that maybe in the next week or two. That data will be included in the database of the IV3, which, there are many problems to election integrity here in the state. This is one little small thing, but there True the Vote has about 30,000 people across the country looking at the same thing that I did in Fayette County, all across the state. So I just think it's something. It isn't the answer to end all to everything, but
That's
you would
a
be
start.
surprised, and I was shocked to find this many people in little old Fayette County.
Yeah.
So
we've
go ahead,
John and Melanie. We have we've been working independent. Before I certainly know who Kathy Engelbert is and the True the Vote effort. We've been working, I want to say independently, took a little bit of a different tack, and we've been filing litigation over the last 3 years to basically show the vectors of fraud. But what we've realized is they have tried, True the Vote, Judicial Watch, they've been trying for years to do a thing they call cleaning the voter rolls. Now, they're required, the Pennsylvania State and the Secretary of the Commonwealth specifically is charged with cleaning the voter rolls like every year. In fact, Judicial Watch won a huge case to force them to do that. And I'm going to give you an example. In Delaware County, they said they complied, and they removed 5 people from the voter rolls. So our premise here and what we're doing in Fayette County is we've created a database, and you can get to it by going to mibdb.org, and that's mail-in ballot, MIB, then DB for database, mibdb.org. And what we can show is if you bring up and you check Fayette County, what we have can see in the database that we've uploaded that there's 7,800 mail-in ballot applications that were submitted for the April 2024 election, literally the one they just had. So we have those applications. And what we found is specific evidence of fraud. We have people, to your point, we have people registered to real estate. We have people registered to post office boxes. We have college students and so forth that, we know don't exist. And we've already gone through I think you found 1,500 people that shouldn't be on the voter rolls. And we found, at this point, we've only got a little less than 100. But we haven't continued to comb them. But we have evidence of mail-in ballot voter fraud. So what we're doing is just a little bit different, and these are the lawsuits that Jon Marietta is part of. Actually, Melanie, you're part of one of them in terms of the recounts. What we're doing in the past elections and for this coming election for November is we're just exhausted with the state not complying with cleaning the voter rolls. They're not going to do it. It's in Governor Shapiro's corrupt advantage and to his benefit, and to the Democrat Party specifically, their benefit, to register tens and tens of thousands of illegal mail-in ballot people. What they're doing is they're collecting signatures. They're going to vote for them. So what we're doing is we're not going to go in there. We're tired of fighting in the state courts because they're corrupt too. So what we did is we're going after the mail-in ballot applications. So we can literally challenge. It's $10 per challenge. And we're going to challenge coming into the following election. Every week, they have to come out and provide us with a mail-in ballot application list and who they're sending out mail-in ballots to. We're going to take those, we're going to vet each one, and we're going to challenge every single mail-in ballot that we know is fraudulent. That's how we're going to clean up hundreds, if not thousands, of mail-in ballots from being counted. Illegally counted, by the way. We're not suppressing any vote. What we're going to do is we're not going to allow people who are not residents, who are not qualified electors, who are not citizens, and that's how we're going to remove them. We're going to remove them through the mail-in ballot applications first, and then we have other things that we're going to be doing, canvassing, recounts, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And see, with Melanie's help, with Melanie, you still with us?
Yeah.
Yes, Yeah, I'm here.
Melanie,
you can sort of cross-reference.
Melanie's help, what she's done, we're going to be able to take a look at this at Fayette County in a big way.
So you'll be able to cross-reference, maybe?
Oh, we're going to be able to cross-reference, and we're going to be able to find out. But right now, there's 1,400 and, what'd you say, 91 or 90?
Yeah, I have like 97.
97.
Wow.
So we're almost to 1,500 people.
That's a game changer.
And this doesn't include this doesn't. This is just the people that changes address, post office boxes, things like that. So what we're going to have we also, the people that have passed away, that's going to be another thing. See, they need to clean up the voting rolls, and if we would clean up the voting rolls, like Greg said, and Melanie's being a part of, and there's other people behind the scenes doing things. If we could clean up the voting rolls, that would help out greatly.
Well, here, John, it's simpler than that. What they're doing is even simpler than the voter rolls. What they're doing is these people who are illegal, that shouldn't be on the voter rolls at all, they're saying that they're mailing them mail-in ballots. By federal law, they cannot send a mail-in ballot to someone who is not a qualified elector. And what corrupt boards of elections are doing, which includes Fayette County and Delaware County, is they illegally send out mail-in ballots to these people. Now, it doesn't matter to them whether they get returned or not. Okay, what they do is they vote for them. All they're doing is they take that pool of illegal voters. So Melanie can sit there and say, and they'll say, well, we'll clear the voter rolls off eventually. But they don't. They're not going to. This is why we have to get them with the mail-in ballot applications, because what we're saying is you can't even send a mail-in ballot to this person, because now all that happens is it gets returned. Well, they can take that mail-in ballot and cast a vote for it.
Right.
That's it. That's what they're doing.
Because nobody's really collecting it, right? It's just
all they're doing is collecting names and signatures.
And one of the questions that we asked Greg back, I don't know, a year ago. Well, actually, it was more than a year ago now, but it was almost a year and a half ago. We asked if we could get the number of mail-in ballots that got returned and where they were.
Exactly. That's why we asked for. We said, okay.
Nobody would answer.
You're saying that 7,800 people responded with mail-in ballots. We want to see the envelopes, which include an attestation on the envelope by the voter with a signature.
Yep.
We want to see those 7,800 envelopes that you have.
Right.
And they refuse. They're like, oh, no, you can't have them, because then you'd be able to audit the vote.
Right.
And we say, exactly. That's exactly what we're doing. And we put that in our response. John, our cases are currently in the appellate court, in the Commonwealth Court. And that's exactly what we said, because they came back, and their objection, and the judge's objection, Judge Leskinen's objection is, well, they don't care about complying with the law. They're just questioning our motives. They're saying, well, if we grant these things, which are they basically have to, they're required by federal law, federal statute. Well, if we grant these things, that will allow you to audit the vote. And we said, yeah, exactly. Well, we can't have that. We told you we're going to decide, and we're going to unilaterally and bureaucratically run the elections, and you can't see what we're doing. That's basically their premise. We're not going to let you see the envelopes. We're not going to let you see the ballots. We're not going to let you see the CVRs. We're going to lie, cheat, and steal. We're going to have solicitors perpetrate fraud in the court. And Judge Leskinen submitted a transcript, which we said was a complete falsehood. We're not going to address any of the criminality accusations we've made. We're not going to address the obvious fraud that you've presented. We're just saying it's we say so, and that's it. That's their entire legal defense, because we said so. That's their legal defense, and that's where they're going to lose in the federal courts.
What was the name of that website again, Greg, that you mentioned earlier?
MIBDB.org. MIBDB.org. You can log in. It asks you to identify yourself. And then right now it's set up so that you can do about 20 different queries. You can put your name in. You can see records for yourself or anybody else, actually. And we're putting in an affidavit button, which, a user is going to be able to press the button and say, this is not my mail-in ballot. We've already got dozens of people. We've tested it. We have dozens of people who have said, that's not my mail-in ballot. It's not my signature. I did not request a mail-in ballot. I didn't vote or did vote in a certain election. The affidavits are already coming in with voter fraud. And that's what we're bringing to the courts. We're not doing anything statistical or anything that is subjective. We are bringing in hard, physical, quantitative evidence of election fraud, and we're putting that before the federal court, and we're going to say, what are you going to do about this? We can't get the state to do anything about it. Anything that's controlled by Shapiro or corrupt judges or corrupt DAs, we can't get anything done. They refuse to investigate. All they say is they call us crazy election deniers, sore losers, and they're upset because they're questioning our motives. And they're saying, well, you don't trust us. Hell yeah, we don't trust you. But we don't have to trust you. That's the whole point of the Constitution. It's to constrain government, not us. We don't trust you. The burden of proof is on you to prove you ran a fair election, not on us. And we say you ran a crooked election. You have to prove otherwise. You have to prove you ran a fair election. We don't have to prove you. We've already got the proof you're a corrupt bunch of bureaucrats. We've got the proof of that. Mm-hmm. John, we've got that in spades. Your lawsuit the lawsuits that we filed, the only thing Judge Leskinen didn't address was the statutes and the evidence. He refused to address it. He doesn't even address it at all. He just says he questions our motives. In fact, the thing he takes biggest offense to is me. He says, well, I'm practicing law without a license. I'm like, no, I'm just filing I have standing according to the courts. But he objects to that. He says, well, you shouldn't have standing. The only one who can talk in my courtroom is a licensed attorney. And the reason for that is they can admonish a licensed attorney. They can disbar a licensed attorney. They can threaten a licensed attorney, but they can't threaten pro se litigants, which is what they object to the most.
And when it comes down to the questioning, they said to me, they said, you just want to count the votes. And I says, yeah. I said, that's right. I said, I do.
That's all he's ever asked for.
And I said, and you can help. I'll let you help. I'll let you come in and help us. I said, I don't have a problem. I told that to both. The judge and the solicitors. I said, you can come help. It's not a problem. But even Judge Wagner even offered to come help. Yeah. So that's where we're at, because he says I think people just don't believe that the government's telling the truth, and so why can't they question it?
But also, I think it's important to note that Jon never opposed to other people watching him count the votes.
Right.
So if he never opposed anybody to join in participating, I'm not sure why there's a big deal. It's not like he's hiding anything. He doesn't have anything to hide.
And this isn't the people that work at the election office.
These are the people that are making decisions. These are good
people to work at the election office. They're at a disadvantage. It's a tough job they got to do. But
that's why nobody wants to work there.
Yeah, that's why we have their. But I mean, it's not them.
Well, John, I just want the thing that drives me is the most insane thing about all of this is, given everything that they've said in the newspapers, in public meetings, I'm talking about Jon being a sore loser, calling us election deniers without evidence and so forth. Given all of the public denigrations, you would think that they would be thrilled and anxious to make us look like idiots.
Right. But they can't.
But they can't. So the point is, hey, if we're sore losers and we're crazy, all you have to do is we just have to go through 7,800 mail-in ballots.
Yeah, just prove it.
And you have to, or just show us a reconciliation report.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we can't give you that. We won't give you the reconciliation report. We won't do anything and provide any information at all that says that they, I know for 100% fact, 100% because of what I know technologically from the Dominion machines and the way they conducted the election, I know for 100% fact that entire election in Fayette County is a fugazi. They fabricated the entire election. I'm saying that on the radio. I've said it to the judge. I've said it to everyone that will listen. I know for 100% fact they fabricated that election, because there's no way they could run 7,800 mail-in ballots through a single scanner, shove them all in a bag, and then reconcile the vote. It is not technically possible.
Because how many precincts do we have in Fayette County?
77.
77. So there's no way that machine was programmed 77 different ways.
Actually, we have 78 because I count the Bureau of Elections.
Count the mail-in ballots. 78, correct.
Yeah, I count.
But they won't even provide a reconciliation report. Meaning, I would say to them, I says, well, okay, give us a reconciliation report, which you're supposed to do yourself. You're supposed to do a reconciliation by federal law and state law. It's in state law 26 times that a return board made up of bipartisan Democrat and Republicans is supposed to do a reconciliation. That's where they go in and they take the ballots. They do it themselves. They are supposed to go in, pick a few precincts, do a hand recount, look at the CVRs, look at the return sheets, and say, hey, everything adds up. They won't provide that report because they can't.
Right. And instead of proving that Jon's this crazy lunatic that they say that he is, they refuse to prove it because they can't.
They're guilty as hell. We won our defamation suit. Leah Hoops and myself, they sued Leah, myself, Donald Trump, Mayor Giuliani for defamation in Philadelphia. And we were in court for 860 days.
Wow.
And they couldn't refute a single thing. The way it wrapped up was you did 100% every single thing we said you did. You're guilty as hell. And that's what I'm going to say in Fayette County. The Board of Elections, which is Vasides, Dunn, and Lohr, I'm saying their names on the radio, Vasides, Dunn, and Lohr, with the collusion and acceptance of these lame arguments by Judge Leskimen and the perpetration of lies by your solicitor, Hyde, okay, they committed election fraud. I can prove it 100%.
Wow.
And if you want, you can sue me for defamation, and we'll sort this out in court the same way we did in Philadelphia, and we're going to prove that you're all liars. Liars.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe you, Greg.
Yeah,
I believe that you have the information, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and Melanie brought the attention about the Blue Cross sorters a long time ago. Melanie, but we found out that they're connected, right, Greg? They're, and a lot of people don't even know. Explain to us what a Blue Cross sorter is, and then maybe that would be the
The Blue Cross sorters are the mail sorters that mail-in ballot envelopes when they go into the centralized counting center. And they use the Blue Cross sorters in Philadelphia, Delaware County, Chester County, Montgomery County. Now they use them in the smaller counties like Fayette County and Washington County. What the Blue Cross sorter does is when they send in a mail-in ballot, it's supposed to be processed through this mail sorter, and it sorts them out by precinct. But it also does a photograph of each envelope, and it puts a date timestamp on each envelope as proof of when the envelope came in, whether it's through the post office or through a drop box. What we have found is that the Blue Cross sorters, they're connected. People at Blue Crest and people outside, you're not supposed to be connected by the internet to any election machines at all during the elections. We have 100% proof via emails, FOIA requests, and right-to-knows that they are connected to these Blue Cross machines. And not only that, they're using them to manipulate the vote. So these Blue Cross sorters are critical to the elections. We've been saying that since 2020, and they're now starting to use that. They used it recently in Georgia. They're using it now in Arizona, and they're using the information that we collected to show that the Blue Cross sorters are a critical component of election fraud. Any place where there's a centralized election center, like Fayette, where they have a Blue Cross sorter, they're committing fraud.
My question is then, Greg, are the iPads also connected? That they seem to deny that they are as well? Because
yes, they are.
I would
Absolutely.
I would presume that would be a problem as well.
Are you using no ink? Which ones are you using there? No inks, or which ones are you using?
Melanie, can you tell us?
No ink. Yeah, no ink. Yeah, no ink.
It's
no
an
ink.
iPad.
No ink.
Absolutely, 100% the no inks are connected to the internet.
So they know in real time when the election bureau or the precincts closed who voted and who didn't. Correct?
Yep, and they know by Democrat, Republican, and what they're using that information for is ostensibly the NGOs. There's 120 NGOs, all leftists, all hard left, communist groups that the state of Pennsylvania has allowed to connect to our SURE database and connect, to the updates. So No Ink during the election, they're seeing a live representation of who's come out. So if they need 100 voters for Democrats, they'll go out and they'll beat the bushes for them. Or what we're seeing is they're not even doing that anymore. They just create CVRs on the fly, and they completely fabricate the vote based on how many people, they see in the No Ink updates.
They can't, because they can know immediately, right? Because once they, shut down the precincts, then they know, like nobody else is coming in to vote.
Well, they know exactly how many people have voted. So let me explain.
Yeah.
Let me explain. The way votes are tabulated is through CVRs, past vote records.
Yep.
Now, any county that doesn't do logic and accuracy testing, and say it didn't do it correctly, and neither did Delco or Tesco, the way they subvert the election is that they don't run logic and accuracy testing in accordance with the federal procedures and the EAC procedures. What they can do is they can create CVRs that have no pedigree. No chain of custody, no pedigree.
Wow.
And we know.
So what happens is...
Let me say this, Greg. And we know that the chain of custody has been broken in Fayette County. We got witnesses to that. We know that. We got people that are willing to testify to that. So go ahead, Greg.
So that's why we asked. We said, look, you can prove, if you want to prove that you didn't fabricate the CVRs, we filed it's called a statute, a 3261, under that statute of the election code. We said, look, you have to open the ballot boxes. We suspect errors of fraud. That's it. Provide us the CVRs.
Yeah.
If they provide those, if they're telling the truth, which you would think that they would love to embarrass John and myself and Melanie and everybody in the country. They would love to embarrass Gina.
If they have the proof.
All they have to do is produce those CVRs in accordance with federal law. Federal law requires them to do that. And if they did it, right, and they did it honestly, then the vote should match up, right?
Right.
Why won't they do that?
Because there's nothing there to see.
Well, because I've already proved that there's 41 discrepancies on 188 mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
And that's just for one election. And what happened was, when we went back, we didn't ask just for the county commissioner's race. We asked for the whole ballot. So how much? What are we really going to find?
Right. They don't want you to know.
It's a complete disconnect. I can tell you right now, those CVRs will not match the election. They will not match.
Right. I believe it.
So we're found at the state appellate court, right, Greg?
Yes, we have.
And we're putting together the federal lawsuit, which every time we think we got it ready to go, something else happens. So
I'm heading to a meeting to get that. It's all done. I'm heading to a meeting here in an hour and a half to get the final review from the group that's been working with me on it. The federal suit will go in today. The Commonwealth cases in Fayette County are case number 336, 337, and 338, CD 2024. Okay, that's the case, 337 CD 2024. Those are the three appellate cases that have been submitted from Fayette County to the Commonwealth Court. Judge Luskin has already responded to a 1920. He wanted us to file a thing called a 1925, where we have to show what his errors of law were, which we did, and he has since responded. And hopefully, I think it's a little fast. We may be heard as soon as June, but I expect to be heard by at least September, if not June, by the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania.
Wow, that's exciting for us.
Yep. And in the meantime, I have some. We're meeting with some other people from a couple other states, and this is all coming together. And I didn't realize how big this was. I never realized. And Greg, when I said that to Greg, he laughed. And you know what? We have to thank people like Melanie for doing what she did.
Yeah.
I mean, she took her time, and she had to go to the postal service. Well, there was a website, but she took her time, and it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
I mean, she'll say it didn't, but I know it did. So we want to thank you so much.
Thank you, Melanie.
Melanie,
Yes.
Thank you, Greg.
Again, I'm not doing anything. I'm just a little cog in a great big wheel of people who are trying to make sure our elections are free and fair. And they're denying it. Mary Beth, during our training sessions in Fayette County for elections for the poll workers, they deny that those poll pads are connected and that they have that information. She flat out denies it at the training. They deny it every single training that I go to.
But
they straight out deny it.
They've denied it several. They've denied it several times, though, Melanie, right? Because we've asked that question every time somebody, even at the Republican committee meeting when they had a person there who was speaking of election integrity. Didn't we ask? We've asked several different people, and they're all in denial that these iPads are connected to the internet.
But the people.
It's part of congressional testimony. Wait a second. Guys, this is congressional testimony. Congressional testimony that the no-inks are absolutely uploading data live time during elections. This is a matter of public record that I don't need the affirmations of the Fayette County people.
Yeah.
The bottom line is no-ink acknowledged it themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons they had them, they put them in Delaware County. They went out and bought, thousands of the bloody things, the iPads.
Yeah.
And then they discontinued the contract after one election, because we called them out. We said, we know you're not allowed to connect to the internet.
Well,
by public disclosure and congressional testimony, we know they're connecting to the internet. You can't use them, and they discontinued, and they're discontinuing all over the country. The fact that Fayette County insists on using those, is more evidence of
they
election
got they got money from Shapiro, didn't they? Grant money to do that.
I don't know.
The first time they were used, what happened?
Act 88, yes, they got grant money. Yes, they got grant money through HAVA. They got HAVA grants. They got Act 88 grants to buy those no-inks.
Yeah, and that was first time we used them was last November.
Yeah.
Or was it last? No, it was a year ago. It was a year ago for your election, John.
Yeah.
In May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a year that we've used them. So this is the third election that we've used them.
And they just never settled right with me anyway, because I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious that the reason why you use technology is to get immediate results. They'll use the excuse that they were trying to save money with the blue books.
When Greg and I asked for the receipts, the printout we were told we were going to get them, and we still are waiting on them to arrive. We're still. Is it Pony Express they're using? I don't know. I think I could have. I don't know, but I'm 200 yards away. So that's all they had to do was. But we were told. They told us. They told a separate attorney that was looking into this. That was in that we would get them, and we're still waiting on them.
Because that would verify.
Yep. That would verify the number of people that actually voted. And they just don't want to let us have that.
Right. Nothing to see there either, I guess.
Nothing to see. But they told us we can have them in 2 days, but we're still waiting.
Pony Express, they got lost on the trail.
It'll be 2 millenniums before we ever get them, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Well, we've been through all this. We've asked the pertinent questions, and we haven't been mean. We just ask questions, and that's why we're wrong. And we're going to keep asking questions. I'm not going to stop on this. We're going to keep asking questions. We're going to find out that this all leads back, and Greg will agree with me. Melanie's going to agree with me. This all leads back to Act 77.
Yeah.
It all leads back to Warner. It voted for it, and he's still running, and he's running again this time. And right now, gas would probably be $1.89, if we didn't have Act 77.
Yep.
That's the truth of it all.
I mean, even if you made a mistake, like you said several times, Sean, even if you made a mistake and voted it in and then realized it was wrong, then you have the duty to try to make that right.
Yeah,
right?
there was only 2 that didn't vote for it, and they were I believe it was Zimmerlink and Metzger. So, anyways, hey, we're gonna have to close up, guys. It was fun having you on. I appreciate you. God bless you and stay safe. On this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad, love what you got, and remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember, the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. I am Jon Marietta. I am the Hillbilly. See you next Tuesday.